What's up, everybody? Josh Arbijo here. I hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I got an album review to do for you, and I'm going to show it to you right now. This is the new album from the band Oath of Damnation, entitled Fury and Malevolence. This is released on Gore House Productions. Now, if you're not too familiar with this band, they are based out of Adelaide, South Australia, and the best way to describe the sound of this band would be a very traditional, dark, blasphemous hybrid of both black metal and death metal. Yeah. I'm very much new to this project. Upon hearing about this band, I wasn't really all that well based and familiarized with this band's body of work. But upon listening to what I have heard of this band, I was very, very intrigued and impressed. Their 2012 demo and their debut full-length from 2014 entitled The Descent. It pretty much sounds like your meat and potatoes sort of black and death metal sounds. But I also love that they include keyboards with this sound. It gives it that almost cinematic, dark sort of edge going for it. And I really appreciated that wrinkle in their sound. And I think it really made for some really top quality music here. But it had been quite a while since we had heard a full-length from this band, and moving forward into 2020, we have the second full-length from Oath of Damnation entitled Fury and Malevolence. It's 7 tracks, and it clocks in at around 36 minutes in length, and pretty much upon listening to the opening parts of Imhulu, you already know that this is going to be far and away the best stuff this band has done yet, because this definitely feels like this band needed a good recharging of sorts. And you get to hear that here on Fury and Malevolence, because this is definitely a really nice surprise, and especially if you're into black and death metal that has that sort of cinematic, dark, gothic, blasphemous feeling to it. That's what I definitely pick up listening to Fury and Malevolence here. Musically, this is some top-notch stuff. There's a lot of really awesome guitar and bass work to be heard throughout this album. I definitely appreciate the riffs, the melodies, and just how theatrical things can get throughout the majority of this album, especially towards the second half of this album, when you have the later tracks like In Death's Dominion and I Curse Thee, O Lord. It's just some really, really top-notch guitar and bass work being played here. Since I mentioned the guitar, the riffs here are awesome. I love the melodies. I love the creativity. Just a lot to pay attention to and sink your teeth into the minute you listen to it. The bass work on here is very good, very audible, and very clear. This is a very well mixed and mastered album. The drum work on here is very blast beat heavy, definitely something that holds your attention throughout, and there is a lot of stamina and endurance to be heard here too, because you get some songs that are pretty lengthy on here, like Ardenti Hereticus, and with Fire and Malevolence, and of course the closing track of this record with I Curse Thee, O Lord. Moments where the drums are a little bit slow-paced at times, but then things pick right back up, and then you get into the smattering of blast beats. It is just a crazy drum performance, and it's definitely something that will entertain you, and you'll hopefully appreciate that. Like I said, the keyboards are something that make this band stand out a lot, and I definitely appreciate the usage of keyboards going on here. I almost get that Cradle of Filth sort of quality, the early Cradle of Filth sort of quality going on here with this sound, and almost a little bit of Evoken in bits and pieces here, because I definitely feel that when you listen to the keyboards in certain parts of this album. I definitely think it works, and for some cases, a keyboard wouldn't work, but I think the keyboard works perfectly here throughout this album. And when it comes to the vocals, there's a lot of awesome stuff to be heard with this vocal performance. I definitely appreciate the growls, the low guttural sort of tones going on here, but I also appreciate the usage of sung vocals, like on the track In Death's Dominion. You get some sung vocals going on here, and I definitely like the direction they take with that particular vocal style on that song. But it's mostly a growl-heavy oriented sort of record, and I definitely like the performance that's being done here. I definitely appreciate the stories being told here, how crazy things get throughout the majority of this album. I really appreciate this vocal performance. So overall, if you're into black and death metal, if you're into black and death metal that has a darker, cinematic sort of edge. Oath of Damnation is the band to be checking out. This is a very solid follow-up to what this band has done previously, and I would definitely encourage anybody to check this album out, listen to it, and hopefully buy it. So, if I don't think of any personal favorite tracks, I would definitely have to say the opening track, Imhulu, with Byron, Malevolence, Death's Dominion, and I Curse Thee, O Lord. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you some links in the description box as to how you can get a hold of this album and listen to it. I will leave you a link to the Gore House Productions Bandcamp page, where you can listen to this album in its entirety, hear it for yourself, and be your own judge as to whether you think it's worthy of being purchased or not. You can stream it, buy it digitally, and it is available physically as a CD. There you have this really nice, badass artwork here, track listing, pro CD, and everything. Great job as usual from Gore House Productions, and it's pretty cool to see Gore House put out music that's not necessarily slamming brutal death craziness. I like that there's some diversity in this label and in this lineup. So, again, the album is Fury and Malevolence by Oath of Damnation. This is released on Gore House Productions. Definitely check this one out. And for a score, I'm going to give this a very solid 8.5 out of 10. Very awesome Black Death from Australia. If you've happened to have heard this album, definitely let me know what you think about it and how you feel about it. Or any of you guys into Oath of Damnation, definitely let me know. I'm going to conclude this review. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel. Until next time, Army Hell out.